Hello everyone, and welcome to our webinar today. Today we have ClickLearn, and Michael Olson will be presenting today on delivering a complete eLearn platform. And we just ask that if you do have any questions, please don't hesitate to type them into the questions box, and toward the end of the webinar we'll get them answered during our Q&A time. And we do record all of our webinars, so this will be available on our website for you to review again, or if you'd like to share it with anyone who may be interested, and that will be at Innovia.com. That'll be on our website by the end of the week. So now I'll turn it over to Michael, and he will begin our presentation on ClickLearn.
Thanks very much, Angie, and welcome to this webinar. I'm going to give you a complete overview of the ClickLearn solution, how it can help you provide documentation and training material to all of your end users. In today's demo, I will, of course, focus on the Dynamics product range, going from Dynamics NAV all the way up to Business Central. So what I will start by doing here is to take the focus on your primary application. And in this case, I'm just opening up Dynamics NAV 2015. Now, this could be any of the versions going from 2009 and upwards. But I'm going to start a little bit back in the version range, due to the fact that I also want to talk about maintaining this when you upgrade your NAV application. Now, when you want to do documentation, first and foremost, you probably do it manually. And this, for most parts, involves using Microsoft Word and writing the instructions yourself. Now, what I'm about to show you today will do it completely differently, and it will help you automate the process of writing these instructions. So alongside the NAV, I will install the ClickLearn solution, and it's a small ClickOnce application that will be installed on the author's PC. So you're not going to end up having to install this on all of your users' PCs. It can be done only for those that are going to focus on creating and maintaining the learning material. Now, inside of ClickLearn Studio, my presentation will show you that you will have a number of easy steps to work from. First of all, we need to be able to make a new recording of a process within your NAV system. Then you need to be able to extend on this to elaborate for the user why they're going to do this process and what they should be aware of. And finally, you might say in a three-step tier here, you will have the ability to produce all of your documentation and training material. So these are basically the two solutions that we're going to focus on. And the first benefit of ClickLearn is really the way that we can help you capture the knowledge you hold about any process within the NAV system. And I'm going to give you the example live here. I'm going to record, not in this case on Business Central, but I'm going to take it on Navision 2015. As you can see from this dialog, ClickLearn has a number of application connectors, we call them. And this really shows you what we support, because ClickLearn is not only intended for NAV, it is also intended for other products that you may have available as well. And it also gives you the idea that you can use the ClickLearn solution for multiple applications and provide the same kind of documentation and training material as this demonstration will show you. When we record this, we will focus on English as the primary language, but my demo will also show you that we can help you localize all of your training material to additional languages. First, we will do a recording on English, and it's very non-technical, so all the user needs to know as an author here is to wait for a green rectangle And the reason for me stating this green rectangle is once we say we want to start recording here, ClickLearn is hidden, and the only thing that you will find apart from the NAV application itself is this green rectangle appearing. So this is your insurance that ClickLearn knows your application and can follow your every step. Now, it will first do a recording of your action when you really perform an action. So let's do this. I want to click on Home, then I want to go and click on Customers. Now I want to do an example where we edit a customer from the system. So the process that I know, I'm simply just performing, while ClickLearn will capture every single action that I perform. So let's select a customer from the listing. Let's go in and edit that. That will then open up the customer card, and we have access to all the various fields within this. Now, when we look at a customer card like this one here, this is a standard page within your NAV solution, but it may also hold some kind of customization. You may have rearranged fields, you may have customized fields and customized pages throughout your solution. And ClickLearn will support that in the same way as I'm doing this here on a standard NAV card. Once we're done with our process, and this is of course a simple process, we'll simply stop the recorder by pressing the 2 control keys on the keyboard, and ClickLearn will reappear, and we can now save the knowledge about this process. Now you can save this anywhere inside of your IT infrastructure, whether that be on OneDrive or a network drive, that is your choice. I will save this at Edit Customer. And once we've saved it, it will be saved just like a Word document in a single file and be listed inside your ClickLearn solution. So this is the first and foremost part that is very interesting and very efficient for an author to work with in order to capture the knowledge about any process within the system. Now we should go on to the second phase, and that would be to extend on this, but I'll wait just a little bit with that and go and produce the content. When we produce the content, and this can, as you can see here, be done right after you've done a recording. So if you nailed your recording without any mistakes, you will rapidly get a lot of documentation and training material. One of the interesting parts about the production that ClickLearn does is that everything is done according to a corporate template. Now, the corporate template controls your company logo, color, and look and feel of every single document that ClickLearn provides. And when I say any single document, it also means that we're not only just providing you with a single Word document, which is the first document that most look for when we talk about documentation. ClickLearn provides so much more. And when we look into the view menu here, you will find that ClickLearn has produced a web page, Word document, and a PDF document. But it has also provided you with PowerPoint slides and video content. Now let's try and look at how this will present itself. Well, according to the corporate template that has been used in the production, it has inserted a nice page with the company logo, the name of your process, and for every single action, it has written the instruction for you. Alongside the instruction text here, it has also given you a visual aspect of it in terms of a cropped image with a highlight of the area in question for that action. Now, what does that mean to you? Well, it basically means that you do not have to write a lot yourself to create these instructions. It also ensures that if you're more than one author, you will find that every single author will have the same outcome in the production. So it will not be select or click. It will be according to the corporate template that says click on the navigation tab. at all times. This is typically some of the difficult tasks that an author has to provide well-structured and nice-looking learning material. Now, throughout every single action that you get out of this, you will find that our corporate template will control the text according to what kind of element that you are performing an action on. So this is a tab, this is a navigation item, this is a cell with a value 10,000, and the cell is named number. Now, it also provides a lot of benefits in terms of the actions that can be done inside the application. Now, here we have selected edit from the ribbon, and this is a button, but it also has a shortcut, and it teaches the user reading this documentation how to be more efficient when working with the NAV application. Now, the content that you see on the web page here will be the exact same thing inside the Word and PDF document. So you will have 3 different styles for your written instructions. Now, but going past the written documentation and on to the learning material, there are a number of users that would like to have a different kind of style when they need to learn about the product itself. Some rely, of course, on getting classroom trainings, and putting that up on a big screen will not really work for a big audience. Instead, ClickLearn produces at the same time, without any additional effort from your side, a full slide deck with the full desktop images of every single action within the process, and of course, the text underneath. That means when you've done this, you will also have all the content prepared for classroom trainings, well structured according to a corporate template where you control the master slides of your PowerPoint slide deck. But it's all about not providing just one document. It's about providing a lot of documents so the end user accessing this training material have the freedom of choice from a lot of different learning formats. Now, many users today are looking for video content. And the cool thing about ClickLearn is when we talk about videos, we provide it in the same production. We also provide it well structured, so there will be no fumbling around with the mouse or no unnatural pauses. And also, it will ensure to reuse the text we have in the written instructions to subtitle the video, timeline it perfectly, and use high quality digital voices to give you a narration in the video content as well. So what I will do now is I will play the show me video of this small process here so that you can watch and listen to the automated narration. So I will take off my microphone for just a second, and then you will hear the narration from the video.
Click on Navigation tab Home. Click on Navigation item Home, Customers. Click on the cell, number with the value 10,000. Click on the ribbon button, Edit. You may also press Ctrl plus Shift plus E. Click on the text box name.
And I'm just going to stop the video here. So hopefully the narration came out clear in the playback here. That is the video that you get free without any additional effort using high quality digital voices. So that means that you will have like a YouTube video, the user can watch this. And the good thing about the video content here is that it's playable on any device in any browser. No additional plugins or extensions is required, no specific video codec whatsoever. Now, to further enhance the way that your users will learn from such a video, we also provide the same video as a try me video. It's the same video, so it doesn't require additional space. But in this video, it's really interacting with the user. So it will narrate like it did before. It will subtitle it, but it will have the user interact with the video. So you can see the highlight within the video is present here. And if I click outside of that, the video will not continue. If I follow it, it will continue in the video. So you are now providing a safe environment, a safe sandbox environment where the user can train as many times as required again and again. They can even sit in their couch at home, holding an iPad and learning how to master the process inside of NAV. And finally, if you want to provide true learning courses to your end users, ClickLearn is fully compliant with learning management systems. This means that we can provide a real test me video that you upload to your learning management system. Now, inside of the test me video, it will of course interact with the user, but it will not show them exactly what they need to know. So they basically know to have the knowledge beforehand and really show you that they know what to do. So the first step I know, I'll do that, and I'll navigate to customers as well. But let's say that I've forgotten what to do here and I misclick. Then your corporate template can control how many attempts that I have before it will teach me again what to do, and then it will score me wrong on this point. Then I can still continue in the training course and advance from step to step. Now, once I complete this, and I'll do this fairly quickly here, it will give a detailed evaluation of the learning that I did, and it will score me 0 out of 5 points on this step here. I've still passed the test due to the fact that I've set up this corporate template to have an 80% range. If you hit that, you've passed the test. So from spending just a couple of minutes recording the process, you will be able to produce high quality documentation and learning material like I've done in this example here. Now moving on, a lot of things for an author also has to do with changes within the system. Now, many has documentation today that is simply just outdated due to the fact that they feel they need to start all over again every time something changes within their system. Now with ClickLearn, it's a completely different matter because you don't need to start all over again. Now let's take the example that we want to extend on this edit customer because we've got some additional fields that should be part of the process. So what I will do to show you this is to show you the built-in editor of ClickLearn. Now inside the built-in editor of ClickLearn, you will have access on the left-hand side to all the recorded steps, your actions that we did just before. On the right-hand side, it will do a preview of the final production. Now, before I change it with additional fields, let's take some of the other tasks that is also part of using the built-in editor. That is typically tasks like chapterizing the process. And this is done by positioning yourself on the left-hand side and then inserting chapters. So if you want to give the user an objective before they start the process, you could insert a chapter, call it objective. So you simply just type in the name of your chapter, click OK. It will be inserted on the left-hand side, and of course also in the preview on the right-hand side. Now this will become a real heading 1 in your Word document, but it will also become a fade in, fade out in your video content, and it will be narrated as well. The same thing goes when you want to elaborate on something, explaining something to the user. This is done by inserting a note. A note is like a paragraph of text within your Word document. So you will, as a writer, simply just type in, and when you type this in, you're focusing on your paragraph of text. Just bear in mind that more than this, it will come into Word document, but also as a separate slide in your PowerPoint slide deck, and it will be narrated for you. Working as an author, you could click on this button up here, and you would listen to how this will sound with a digital voice. Once you click on OK, the note will be inserted and, of course, refreshed again in the final production. So it's very easy to add all the instructions you want to present to the end user apart from the steps that has been recorded. Now, when we look at the steps that we have here, go through them step by step, we saw that we did something by example when we had to edit a customer here. Now, for a final instruction, we would like to change this because the end user should in fact be able to select any customer from the listing. And you have a lot of places within your NAV solution where you have lists of data, lookup fields, and so forth. Now, ClickLearn knows this, and for that reason, when you double click on your step on your left-hand side, you will have a property where you can select any row and just look at how the text will automatically change. It will change to instruct the user to click on the cell number on any given row. Also, if you pay attention to the thumbnail image here and the highlight, once we hit OK after changing that setting, it will change that marking as well, visually explaining the user that they could choose any from the listing here. Going onwards, looking into the actual customer card, we recorded 3 individual fields that should be part of the process. Now, many authors would really like to bring this together. Instead of having 3 individual steps, they would like one image that shows everything. Now, instead of having to do print screen and do all the markings yourself to bring it to one screenshot, ClickLearn has a highly efficient way of doing this. Selecting multiple steps on the left-hand side and then grouping it allows ClickLearn to highlight everything for you, make a numbered list of each step, and then crop it to a group. Once we do that, it will do everything efficiently for you, one image and a numbered list of each step. So not wasting time and ensuring that everything is well structured no matter which author has done the instruction. So finally, we get to the part that had to do with extending on this. So instead of starting all over again, what you could do, although you may have done this 3 months ago, is to go back in to your NAV system, look up the same customer, be on the customer card, and then open up your existing instruction. Right-click where you want to insert steps, and then choose Record New Steps. When you do this, the recorder is reactivated, ClickLearn is hidden, and we can simply just go in and choose the fields that we want to be part of the instruction. Once we stop the recorder again, pressing the 2 control keys on the keyboard, it will then insert the new steps on the left-hand side, refresh the production, and of course, update the group of all the steps here. So it's very straightforward and very non-technical to master this, even if you want to extend on existing processes. Once we're done with all of our editing and changes here, we will simply just close the instruction down and save it. And we are now ready to do a full new production, which will update both the Word document, the PDF, the PowerPoint slides, and the video content. So I won't spend time doing that right now. I want to go a bit beyond that and show you exactly what to do if you're going to upgrade your version of NAV to a newer one. Now, first of all, you of course need to have the new version of NAV. And we can simply just take, for example, an Innovia 2017. I'll take it in English here, first of all, just to show you what is required from the ClickLearn side. Because this is also very beneficial in two ways. One way is, of course, that it will help you maintain and update all of your documentation and training material. Secondly, it can also be used as a quality assurance and a automated process testing when you want to ensure that your core processes within your organization will work before you go live with a new version. So we have the Innovia 2017 started. And before I'm going to show you this, just let me tell you a couple of things that has changed inside of the customer card. Now, when we look at this here, we have the same customer, so I have the same database. If I go in and edit that here, you will find that there's a couple of things that has changed. Some of the fields are on different fast tabs, and some of the fields are not even here. So the search name is not part of my customer card here. So typically this is a complete new application, but to ClickLearn, it really knows a lot about the application. So we can help you near to completely automate this process for you. And we'll do that by taking the recording we've done on Innovia 2015, we will convert it to a newer version. So I'll convert it from 15 up to 17. I could go all the way up to the web client, but I'll just go to 2017. This will then copy your recording so that you can keep your own old documentation and training material, but now focus on a new one. But then instead of having to re-record the steps, we will do it completely automated. We do that by a feature called replay. So when I click replay, choose English, I will now, once I click OK, I will keep hands off mouse and keyboard. And it will basically go automatically through the process that we recorded on Innovia 2015. So first it will click on home, then it will click on customers, then it will find the customer again and go and click on edit. Coming into the customer card, it will jump into the name field all the way down to a different fast tab to take some of the other fields that I selected, going back and forth between the two and finalizing this. Now, right now it cannot continue because it's looking for the search name that we used on Innovia 2015. So this is basically something that's very disruptive in terms of changing from one version to another one. But ClickLearn will still help you. So it will stop and say, hey, listen, something's wrong. I cannot find search name. So what should we do? Has it been replaced by a different field or has the field been completely removed from the application? I know that I've removed it, so I'll simply just exclude it. And the replay will then continue in the process without failing, still updating everything for you. So within a couple of minutes, we have now validated a quality assurance of the process and at the same time recaptured all screenshots, all captions for this process. Everything is now aligned and you can even see that the grouping has been aligned accordingly, going beyond one fast tab to the two fast tabs here. So ClickLearn will help you immensely in terms of dealing with change. Now, in terms of localizing, ClickLearn will also help you. So let's take the example that you really need all of this to be localized to German. to Spanish, to French, to anything. Now I'll take this step by step. First of all, we've done some chapterization and notes manually when we edited this process. Now this can be dealt with inside of the editor. So you can go in, open up your chapter, and you can localize this yourself to multiple languages. So there's a globe symbol that you can always use when you talk multiple languages. Now, if you want further assistance here, we have built in auto translate feature here using Microsoft Azure Translation Services and Google Translate as well. So the initial translation can be done from within the editor here. So now it will translate this to all the languages I would like to work with, being Chinese, German, Spanish, and so forth. But if you don't want to have to go through every single chapter and note throughout all of your processes that you have saved as recordings, you can also do it outside the editor. In a single way, selecting one or multiple recordings, you can just choose to translate this from English into German. This will go through every single step in all selected recordings and do the same kind of translation for you. Bear in mind, auto translation is auto translation, so you need someone that reviews that the final instruction in Spanish, for example, is the correct one. But once that is done, you will benefit from the next step, because the replay we did on the English system is also valid when we take the same system, Navision 2017, in German. So we'll open that one up. So now we have the German system running. Every single caption is now in German. We'll take the same recording, but we'll now, and I'll just do it on the 2017, I did it on the old one, so sorry, that was my mistake. I'll just do it on this one here. Translate that one. Yes, please. Okay, and let's do the replay. So doing the replay, the only difference is that I'm now saying, well, I'm going to replay it on a German system. Hands off mouse and keyboard, and it will now do the same process as we did before. First, click on the button Home. Now it's called Startseite in German, and it will then continue onwards. And at the same time, it is, of course, recapturing all captions and all screenshots from the German system. Now, when we did the replay in English, we excluded the field that wasn't available anymore. And now when we do the replay in German, we don't need to focus on that because we've already done that. So that has been excluded for all languages. The interesting part is now that when we look inside of the editor, we still have everything in English. English screenshots, English instructions. But if we change this into German, you will find that the single source recording holds multiple languages. Now everything is in German with German screenshots. All the way through everything, fully aligned, including our grouping. So we've spent around 30 minutes. We've seen how to capture your knowledge by doing a recording of a process. We've seen how to edit this, extend with chapterization and notes. We've seen how you can deal with changes and also how you can deal with multiple languages. Once we've done all of this, we can simply go and hit produce and now produce in the languages that we've prepared. And then everything will be in those two languages. But it doesn't stop here, because it will be very difficult for you to bring all of this into a right context to an end user. They are typically looking for a user manual. Might be dependent on their role, that they are looking for a user manual for sales, for finance, for purchasing, whatever it might be. This can be handled in ClickLearn as well. And we do that by providing you an easy way of creating what is called a book and a shelf. A book is like a user manual, whereas a shelf is like a complete learning portal. Now, when I say book, you can go and create such a one, and we could call it sales and marketing. And once we create such a one, we are able to drag over the recordings we want to be part of this user manual. So we can simply just choose how this user manual should be built up. We can save it. And once we've saved it, we will have the ability to click on produce for the book, and it will produce everything in one go for us, and also provide a single Word document, a PDF document for everything that we've embedded into the book structure. Now, I'm not going to waste time doing that. I want to go onwards. So apart from you choosing how your book should be structured and what should they be called, you can also create a shelf, which is, in fact, a collection of books. So if you want to do a complete learning portal for your Dynamics 365 range, you do a shelf, and for that shelf, you drag over the books that you've defined. That means that once you have done that structure, you are very close to the end product of a full e-learning portal. When we hit produce on this shelf, this is what you will get. First of all, as I said, a single document that explains the full learning portal. It will build up the full table of content for you. Within each book, you will have the recordings. In Office, we have a number of recordings. And in this recording, we will have a number of chapters. So everything is aligned according to what you saw me do in a single process. But very interestingly here comes the learning portal. It produces basically a full website for you. Now, this full website allows the user freely to search throughout every step, every note that you've done throughout every process and every book. It also gives the user an easy navigation into every single book, and from within that into every single process. Once the user hits the process, they will get the instruction. They can choose their learning format, download the PDF and print it out, or just read it online, watch the video, or take the course. So everything is built within a very short amount of time and well structured throughout all the material that you provide to your end user. Now, for the Dynamics NAV part, this webinar also had something called a learning portal inside Dynamics NAV. And right now, we have been looking at the NAV versions, and they have so far, of course, their own help server that the users can access when they click help inside of NAV. Now, when we talk about Business Central at the end, things might become a little bit different, but ClickLearn will help you all the way. Now, I'll just show you what it means when I say that it's embedded inside of that help system that NAV holds. When you press help within NAV, ClickLearn can actually produce the content that will be embedded into the help server. So you get the standard help from Microsoft, but then it will be extended with the ClickLearn content. And when I say ClickLearn content, it means that when you've created a process with ClickLearn and you produce the content, it will also appear inside the help system. In this case, in a different style that aligns itself with how Microsoft would like a walkthrough to be. But it will also include what you saw from ClickLearn, where you have the cropped images and the instructions like this. And it will, of course, include the video content as well. And then something that is very interesting for processes that you don't do on a daily basis. And now I'm going to address the final thing that ClickLearn produces for you, but from the same recording, and that is for onboarding. We provide a live assistant that will guide the user according to the instruction that you recorded. So the user can sit here, start NAV up, press help, find the right instruction, and then simply just click on the live assist button. This will have a small application installed. So it's a click once application again. They don't need the full ClickLearn Studio at all, and it's freely distributable within your organization. But once this is started, this little guy will pop up on screen. You can even have your own customer mascot be presented for the user here. And then it will shift back into the NAV system and start guiding the user. This is how you should create a new customer. So as you can see here, it's guiding me. And if I follow it, I will really create a new customer within the system. Now, when we talk about Business Central, we are basically moving from what is typical from an NAV installation, which is on-prem perhaps, to a cloud-based environment. And the most questions that we get about ClickLearn is, of course, well, what about my content once I go into an online world? Well, ClickLearn can help you with this. When you have produced your learning portal, we have a ClickLearn cloud. So once you hold a ClickLearn license, you will be able to take your full learning portal and simply hit publish. We will publish this to the cloud according to Microsoft Azure data services. That means on a data center in your region. And you can choose then to provide a simple address to the users to gain access to the learning portal. Now, when we go into the ClickLearn portal here, I can then control the published content. And as I said, if we look into the Dynamics 365 learning portal, I have made this available. I want to do this public right now so that you can see that if I choose to have it public, anyone could get access to my learning portal. That means the user can simply just navigate to this address. It's in the cloud, and then they can work with the content. You can also choose to log it down within your organization for private. And that means that if I want to access this learning portal, it will be a private address and you need to sign in with your Office 365 or a ClickLearn login, or logging it down to your specific IP range without a username and password, but you can log it down securely to your organization. And then you will have access to the content. So it's fully prepared for all of this as well. Now, another thing that is very interesting is to gain insight from your end users on how they like your documentation and training material, and if they want you to improve on it. And this, of course, involves some way of feedback mechanism to be activated. And when you produce content with ClickLearn, you can choose to activate this so that every single content you produce provides a feedback section the user can work with and also comment on all of the content they have access to. Now this allows you then in the back end to look into all of this feedback. This is done as an example through a dashboard. You will then know where are your users located in the world that are accessing your learning portal. What are the top books that they are reading? Who's downloading the PDF and watching the video? And how many does really require to be assisted inside the live application? Furthermore, you will gain insight to how users are rating your content. And if they have any kind of comments on the book and the process that they have been accessing. So I hope that the demonstration has given you a very clear insight into how you can provide well-structured, high-quality documentation and learning material to your Dynamics 365 range of applications. So thank you very much for your time. I hope you enjoyed it. And I'm going to give the word back to Angie for Q&A.
All right, thank you very much, Michael. First question.
Thank you.
Can I record and produce processes that takes me outside D365?
Yes, you can. As an example, if I wanted to record completely outside or starting in NAV, I will be able to do exactly as I did before. So I'll just start the recorder. And we will start by recording a couple of steps inside of NAV. I just need to start up again here. So there we go. So when I start recording something here, we could go to items. And once I have the list of items, I could choose to send it to Microsoft Excel. Once I open up Microsoft Excel, I'm actually going outside of NAV into a Microsoft Office application. And as you can see, ClickLearn will now not show in the top right part of the green rectangle an NAV icon. It will show a Windows icon. And it will also show, in this case, once we go into the Excel part, it will show a green box with the Excel icon instead. So it will be able to record in the exact same way as it did inside of NAV. And I can continue my process, continue out of Excel again, and back into NAV, and I will still be able to capture every single step. Multiple applications. Once we open that up, you will find that we have something from Navision here, something coming from inside of Excel. So that should answer that question.
Okay, thank you. Next question. Does ClickLearn work in both on-premise and cloud installations?
And yes, ClickLearn works in both environments. So it can both be on-prem and it can be in the cloud.
Okay, thank you. And what versions of Dynamics 365 NAV does ClickLearn support?
Yeah, we support the NAV version 2009 and upwards, all the way to the Business Central versions. And when we're talking about the older NAV versions, I'm addressing the role-tailored client.
Okay, I think that's all the questions that we have. Thank you everyone who have attended. And another reminder that this has been recorded and it will be available on our website by the end of the week, and that's Innovia.com. And also be sure to check out our events page for more webinars to attend. We have another one this month on food traceability from Generics Group, and that's going to be on the 25th of September. And then the first part of October, we have NAV Payroll. They will be presenting on adding value to NAV ERP with integrated payroll and HR functionality. That will be on October 4th. So if you're interested in any of those webinars or any future webinars, please register for those. We would love to have you attend. And I just want to thank everyone again. Thank you, Michael, for presenting. It was a very informative presentation, and I hope everyone was able to take away some pieces of information that will help.
Thank you so much, Angie.
All right. Well, everyone have a great day, and we will look forward to seeing you in the near future. We will be at Directions in San Diego at the beginning of October, and then we will also be at Summit Phoenix October 14th through the 18th, and we are at booth 529. So stop by and see us. We would love to talk with you and your colleagues. All right, everyone have a great day and enjoy your weekend. Thank you.
Bye-bye.